The purpose of these lessons is to show you the logic behind the most basic Chinese characters, beginning with the simplest pictograms, and later combining these elements to create more complex characters. This lesson contains only 3 characters, one of which is the basis for all the characters in both this lesson and the next. This basic character is composed of a steamer, which is warming a ceramic jar filled with wine. 2 hands at the top are using a knife to pry open or otherwise remove the lid from the jar. Pronounced fourth tone, zhao, zhao. This character depicted a ritual to attract one's ancestral spirits using the scent of fragrant wine. Fortunately for us, even in ancient times, the character was simplified by eliminating the steamer, ceramic jar, and the pair of hands, leaving only the knife, dao, as phonetic above the mouth of the jar. The ancient ritual of inviting one's ancestors was forgotten, and this character came to mean to attract attention, to beckon to someone, summon, or welcome them, all of which are closely related meanings. We'll start off with convening a meeting, literally summoning people together. 理事会何时召开? When will the board of directors convene their meeting? In the political sphere, 召回 is used for recalling an ambassador from his or her post abroad. 英国首相召回指派在法国的大使. The British Prime Minister is recalling their ambassador from France. 召来 is simply to summon or invite. 君王召来全国最有名的大夫. The monarch summoned the most famous doctor in the country. Our second character pairs 走 from lessons 11, 81, and 82, originally meaning to rush or move quickly, with today's new 照 phonetic. This character is pronounced first tone, 超, 超, and at one time meant to jump up in response to being summoned. Today, however, the feeling of urgency has faded away, leaving only to jump up or jump over, to exceed, excel, or rise above whatever or whoever is nearby. In conversation, it can be an adverb to express a level above the rest, somewhat like English super, as in super smart, super cool, or today's example, super delicious, 超好吃. 超车 is the Mandarin expression for passing or overtaking another vehicle. 超车后你必须回到内车道行驶. After passing a car, you must return to the inside lane. These next 4 sentences are examples of 超出, meaning to exceed or go beyond. 我们讲的话是没有超出闲聊. Our conversations never went beyond idle chit-chat. 人们的贪心大大超出我们的想象. Human greed far surpasses anything we can imagine. 那个问题已超出今天要讲的主题. That question is already beyond the scope of today's topic. 今天的技术超出了当时的技术能力. Current technology surpasses the technological skills at that time. 超人 means beyond the ability of most people, superhuman, or even Superman, depending on the context. 他有超人的能力跟正直的品德. He's a man of exceptional ability and upright character. 他的时尚眼光是超人一等的. Her eye for fashion and style is a cut above the others. 她是从事这行的女超人，没人比得上. In this business, she's a superwoman. No one else comes close. If something is labeled 超重, it's overweight, people included. 我不知道这封信是否超重了. I don't know whether this letter is overweight. 跟肉食者相比，素食者很少超重. Compared to meat eaters, vegetarians are rarely overweight. 超过 means to exceed or go beyond. 出国没超过5天就想回家. No more than 5 days into his trip abroad, and he wanted to return home. 我讲解的时间从不超过1小时. My explanations have never exceeded 1 hour. 好像什么东西都无法超过光速. It seems there's nothing that can exceed the speed of light. 后面的驾驶员想从内车道超过我. The driver behind me is trying to pass in the right-hand lane. 他的汽车的时速超过110英里. Her car's speed exceeded 110 miles per hour. Speeding is rendered as 超速 in Chinese, with the legal term being 超速行驶 speeding. 你开车不要超速，你会吃罚金哦. Don't exceed the speed limit. You'll get a fine. When you exceed the limit on an account or credit card, the term for it is 超支, based on the phrase 开支, meaning expenditure or expenses. 出国玩的时候，小心信用卡不要超支. When traveling abroad, be careful not to overdraw your credit card. 又买了东西，你不知道这个月我们超支了吗? Shopping again? Don't you know we're overdrawn this month? 高超 as an adjective means superb, superior, or outstanding. 他工作卖力，技术高超. He's a hard worker with superb skills. 你必须有高超的理财技能. You must have superior financial management skills. 超越 is another combination meaning to exceed. 人的理想必须超越他的能力. A person's ideals must go beyond his or her ability. Our third and final character is simply an extended version of 招, that ancient ritual of inviting one's ancestors by opening a jar of wine and allowing the fragrance to do its magic. With the addition of the hand radical, 手, this new offshoot is pronounced first tone, 招, 招. It depicts a hand raised in the air to attract attention, to beckon to someone, welcome, or summon them. The first examples add another hand to create the phrase 招手, 守卫招手, 要我们跟着他. The guard gestured with his hand for us to follow him. 那个男人在向你招手，你认得他吗? That man is waving to you. Do you know him? 围着头巾的女子看到我停下来，就连连招手. Seeing me hesitate, the woman in a headscarf kept waving me on. Remember that 连连 means continuously, one after another, again and again. 我在街道上招手叫车. I was on the street trying to hail a taxi. Our next phrase is 招, paired with 呼, meaning to call or cry out. 招呼, which translates as to call out to, greet, or say hello to someone. 财主拍了拍手，招呼侍者过来. The millionaire clapped his hands to summon his servant. 我向守卫点头招呼一下，就出去了. I nodded to the concierge and left. Besides greeting someone, 招呼 can also mean to notify or let someone know your plans, especially when the verb 打 is added. 打招呼 or 打个招呼。他没打招呼就走人了。She up and left without a word of explanation. 你什么时候去北京？跟我打个招呼。Let me know when you're planning a trip to Beijing. 他在街上看到我，连招呼都不向我打。When he saw me on the street, he didn't even say hello. Since 招 means to summon or beckon to someone, it can refer to advertisements, help wanted, and recruitment notices. 招商人员 admissions counselor. As we saw in 高中生 for a senior high school student, 生 is part of the phrase for student. So, 招商人员 would most likely be in reference to a university officer or an after-school tutoring center. 汽车工厂正在招工. The car factory is recruiting workers. 你没机会，他们昨天已停止招工了。You're out of luck. They stopped hiring yesterday. In this same vein, to encourage or entice people to enter your store would be 招生意, drum up business. One expression for something sure to attract attention is 招眼, literally to beckon to the eyes. 你这件花花的大衣太招眼了吧? That multicolored coat is a bit too loud and conspicuous, don't you think? We learned in Lesson 80 that 待 means to stand at the ready or to wait on a person, which includes how you treat them, either well or ill. By combining 招 with 待, 招待, we have the expression for providing service to guests in one's home or customers in a shop or restaurant. 这家餐厅的招待太有趣了. The service in this restaurant is remarkable. Remember that the concept of service can include the waitstaff and any food, drinks, or entertainment they provide. For this reason, saying the service is 有趣, usually translated as interesting, is a plausible description. 在餐厅当招待员是相当累的工作. Waitstaff at a restaurant have a pretty tough job. 不好意思，我没有什么点心招待你们. I'm sorry, but I don't have any snacks to offer you. 招来, literally to beckon or wave someone or something in your direction, means to cause or incite. 他们不正当的关系招来了不少闲话. Their illicit relationship has caused a lot of gossip. 大使不慎的言论招来了他国的指责. The ambassador's careless remarks have drawn criticism from other countries. 他不可一世的行为招来了憎恨的目光. His arrogant behavior drew looks of hatred. By switching out 来 and replacing it with 惹, we get 招惹, indicating a more serious provocation with more serious consequences. 门口的柯卡犬在啃骨头，你别招惹它. That cocker spaniel at the door is chewing on a bone. Don't tease him. 我根本不知道哪里招惹它的. I have absolutely no idea what I did to provoke him. 你要三思而行，别招惹那个人生气. Think carefully before you act. You mustn't incur that man's wrath. 三思而行 and 三思而后行 are the same idiom, meaning literally, think 3 times before going forward. 那个人招惹不得, 他跟黑手党有关系. That guy mustn't be provoked. He's got underworld friends. 招惹 is not restricted to provoking people or animals. It can also mean to court disaster, incur expense, criticism, and other sorts of trouble. 越高大的东西越易招惹雷电. The taller the object, the more prone it is to lightning strikes. 你这样的公开言论会招惹麻烦. These public statements of yours will only bring trouble. 你不要赴约，不然会招惹无限的问题. Don't go to that appointment. If you do, it'll cause endless problems. As we've seen, the original character 招 means to invite a visit from the spirit world. But its modern connotation is not limited to just spirits. Various martial arts also make use of exaggerated hand and arm movements when engaging with an adversary. For this reason, 招 may also refer to these gestures intended to confuse one's opponent or tempt him into making a first strike. This interpretation is often translated as a move, trick, device, or maneuver. 你这一招可真高. That was a clever move on your part. 我不知道你来这里有什么高招. I wonder what trick you've got up your sleeve now. 生意不景气，你们想出高招也来不及了. Business is too far down for a quick fix now. As we saw in Lesson 43, anything multicolored or multi-shaped can be described using 花, the flower analogy. From snowflakes, 雪花, to sparks, 火花, to fancy footwork in figure skating, 花样,滑冰. Now we need this connotation of 花 in 花招, meaning those fancy movements in martial arts used to overcome one's opponent. The most common verbs used with 花招 are 耍出玩 and 使. 在那个时刻，他玩了个高明的花招. At that moment, he pulled a truly brilliant move. 你别想跟我耍什么花招. Don't even think about pulling any sly tricks. 他的花招把这件事情搞僵了. His clever little maneuver brought the matter to a deadlock. 你的花招差不多都使完了吧? You've exhausted nearly all the tricks in your bag. 你要留意卖家不出花招. You have to be careful the seller doesn't pull a fast one. 你跟我耍这样的花招是没用的. It's useless to try that kind of ruse on me. The character 架 from Lesson 27 means wood that adds strength. In other words, a supporting framework or scaffolding, originally referring to the construction of bridges. And because bridges are constructed from both sides simultaneously and meet in the middle, 架 also implies the use of both hands at once. When it comes to fighting and brawling, both hands are necessary. So, 打架 means to come to blows or get into a brawl. Today's new phrase, 招架, means to raise both arms to block or ward off the blows of an attacker, to withstand an assault, or be able to hold one's own in a contest. This expression is usually found in the negative. 他动怒骂起人来，你无法招架的. Once he loses his temper and starts yelling, there's no place to hide. 我国的花车太好看，其他国家无法招架. Our float was so beautiful that the other countries' floats were no match for us. 工作太多，我无法招架. There's too much work to do. I can't hold out any longer. 跟你相比， 其他人已无招架之力。In a matchup with you, the others are truly defenseless. 他的诈术高超，别人不易招架，你怎能例外？ He's an especially slick con artist. Others find it hard to avoid being taken in. Why would you be an exception? And finally, 招认 originally indicated a person raising their hand in response to an interrogator and admitting one's guilt. This expression translates in English as to confess or admit guilt. 好了，不要再说了，我招认。Okay, I admit it. 我不得不向你招认一件事。There's something I must confess to you. 在不停的追问之下，歹徒招认了。Under non-stop questioning, the offender confessed. 大家认为这本书就是枪手的招认书。Everybody considers this book to be the gunman's written confession. 那个人恨我入骨，打死他也不肯招认。The guy hates me so much that you'll never beat an admission of guilt out of him. Here's our color chart with today's 3 characters. 照 抄 and 招. Here's a recap of today's lesson. 1. There are only 3 characters in today's lesson, with 照 serving as both the phonetic and semantic base of the other 2. 3 more characters will appear in the following lesson. 2. 照 is the simplified result of 2 hands using a knife to pry open the lid of a wine jar. This wine jar is placed on a steamer to warm the contents and allow the fragrant smell of wine to attract the spirits of one's ancestors. From that long-forgotten ritual, the meaning was expanded to refer to attracting, summoning, or welcoming anyone. In ancient times, 照 was reduced to just a knife over the mouth of a wine jar. 3. The Chinese are known for their hospitality, especially toward visitors from afar. This fact is attested to in the composition of many characters, 照 being one of them, suggesting that newly introduced guests will share a pot of wine, exchange gifts, and propose endless toasts for a long-lasting friendship. Another 照 offshoot alluding to this situation will appear in lesson 84. 4. According to one official Chinese dictionary, the second character, 抄, composed of 走 plus 照 phonetic, originally meant to jump up or jump to attention when summoned by a superior. From that early scenario was abstracted the modern meanings of to jump up, jump over, exceed, or rise above. Examples of verbs include 超出, 超过, and 超越. Some noun combinations are 超车, 超速, 超人, and 超之. 5. By adding the hand radical, another character was spun off from 照 and pronounced first tone 招 to make the distinction. This combination referred specifically to the raising of one's hand to greet, beckon, or welcome someone, as in 招呼 and 招待. Incurring unwelcome trouble and provoking others include 招来 and 招惹. This raising of the hand and arms was extended to include martial arts movements, as in 化招, and even raising one's hand and admitting guilt, as in 招认. Now you will find a short quiz on double, triple character, and longer expressions. Answer using only the characters learned so far. Thank you for watching and listening.